Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Anyway, that's enough abortion stuff. Let's go darker than this for a sec.
Yay!
Yay! Oh God.
I know the world is ending. It's a fact.
Yeah, so back to my thing about covering stuff before it's up unscathing. This will be unscathing for sure. I'll be very surprised if they don't cover this. GOP candidates, supporters of LGBTQ indoctrination should be executed. And that's not hyperbole. They
just went ahead and said the quiet part out loud.
Yeah, so this is Mark Burns. He's running in the Republican primary for Congress in South Carolina's 4th congressional district. And now because he's running in a primary, it's possible he's not going to even end up being the Republican candidate, but it's also possible that he will be.
Just the fact that these people are viable choices.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. Well, it's actually terrifying.
He's so extreme though, but and he's actually he's getting a national stage just by being in the primary. So it's not like these are views that are completely unheard of in the GOP.
No.
Why do we call it the GOP? It's the grand old party. Know. That's too distinguished of a name for them at this point.
Know.
I think I'm gonna go with the some people are changing to the GQP. I kind of like that.
What's GQP?
It's just because they've started following Q.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, I got my first super chat on this channel ever. Noramdaputs. Oh, and it's Noramdaputs. Hi, Noramdaputs. Are super chats enabled on the stream? Have you plugged this? It disappeared. I need to pull it up. No, it disappeared. Where'd it go?
Come back.
Oh, YouTube, you suck. Fuck.
Watch, this is going to be demonetized now.
It's crazy. My shit doesn't get demonetized. I don't know how I do it. I don't know how. I legitimately don't. I'm this completely derailing the conversation, but I'm going to go into I'm looking at my stuff. Every single thing is monetized. I have to go back to when I had Rudy on, that's X-Cult Baby, where, let's see, atheist couple can't adopt a child. And I had atheist right in the title, and I had atheist in the thumbnail. Atheist is one of the trigger words that makes it more likely to get you demonetized. That's the most recent one that I have that's demonetized. It's the 18th of May. So it's a month ago. And
that's good.
And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 videos since then. Some of them are scheduled, but I can still see whether or not they're monetized. So I don't know, God has blessed me with monetization. Because some of the stuff I cover, I literally have a video out called "Does God Have Fruit Fly Sperm?" where Shannon and I discuss the length of God's sperm.
That's incredible.
And
that's incredible.
And we go into much worse stuff than that as well. That's monetized.
See, I don't have the same problem as you guys. Most of my stuff is monetized and remains monetized. We have,
because you're actually educational.
Well, I was going to say, because we most of our shit is just history. We get into trouble a little bit if we're doing if we're talking about ancient sexuality or that kind of thing. And I think one of my
I love the thumbnail from
racism.
Your ancient erotica video. That's the best. Gregory Whitaker says Happy Pride Month, and the NT Judas and Jesus making out is legit kind of hot. Happy Pride Month. There we go.
Yes, it's very early.
That one actually shows up in the chat. Why did the other one not? Where did that go?
He said it went through Stream Elements.
Oh, it was a tip. It wasn't a super chat. Okay, that makes sense. I can access that as well if I actually have that tab open for once, because I knew stuff like this would happen.
Oh, apparently Burns lost the primary yesterday.
Oh, did he?
Got Hayden Beard is saying in the chat, but he got over 11,000 votes.
Yeah.
which is very troubling. That is very troubling.
Okay. Yeah. Naramdaput says, are super chats enabled on the stream? Have you plugged this channel at all on the main one? Yes, I have plugged it, but not very hard because I'm bad at self-promotion.
You and me both.
I'm very bad at it. Now I have to get back to the live dashboard. Where are we? There we go. Okay, back to the article. All right, so behind the scenes crap for a sec. Megan is also been diagnosed with ADHD, and I'm in the process. So to follow it up, last week I know people in the chat were saying like, oh, we got to keep bugging Rhino until he actually follows through with this shit, and I was like waiting on a blood test. I actually went to the blood test place today because I was already out. So I like the getting my van back was like, it was a sudden like, okay, you have to go to the dealership or to the rental place and drop off your rental now, and we'll pick you up there and bring you back and give you your van back or shit. And it's like, okay, well, this is going to mess with my day anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to bring the paperwork with me to go get my blood work done. And so I went to the blood work place and they were closed. And then I checked online. It said they were open till 3:30 and it was like 1 o'clock. So I was like, why aren't they open? So I tried. I did. I went there today. I honestly did. But I hate
it when that happens. It just completely derails everything. And you're like, no, I actually did something for once that I was supposed to do. And the world is just fucking with me.
But the LCBO, that's the Liquor Control Board of Ontario. That's where we go to buy our booze in Ontario. That was open, and it was right across from the place. So that's where I picked up my bottle of Chivas. And it's throwing me off because like I was a bartender for a bit, but most of my stuff has been serving. So like I'd punch in the drink order and the bartender would make it for me. This is the first scotch that I've had that's a twist off top. All the rest have been corks. Oh. Like even if it's artificial cork or whatever. So it's weird to me. Cause like I keep pulling on it and going, why isn't it coming off?
I worked bar for a couple of years. I don't think I've ever seen a whiskey with a screw top.
Yeah, but Chivas is pretty common. I don't know. Whatever. I probably wasn't like in the drinks that I had to mix with it. I probably wasn't really thinking of it. Anyway, so this guy said that Senator Mitch McConnell is guilty of treason for possibly supporting gun safety measures. And
he hasn't even done anything, but he is definitely guilty of treason.
He's guilty of treason because he thinks that maybe regulating stuff might be okay.
Maybe you shouldn't be able to go to Walmart and buy a weapon on the same day. It's maybe.
It's okay. Maybe this guy's a libertarian, but like I know there's that libertarian thing where it's like we have the right to travel, therefore we don't need a driver's license to drive a vehicle. But like aside from that, it's like, yeah, you do have rights, but there are restrictions on them. And that's okay.
You have the right to travel, necessary. But you can travel by bike or by foot if you don't want to get a driver's license. Like, right to travel does not equal right to car.
Same thing. And can you tell me what a legitimate use for an AR-15 would be other than just having fun at the range?
I've been told hunting.
Why can you not hunt with a rifle?
Someone has told me that you actually need an AR-15 for hunting. I'm like,
no.
The whole of the United Kingdom disagrees.
People were able to hunt bears in the days of the one-shot muskets. You don't need an AR-15 for that. Yeah, it was more dangerous.
Bow and arrow, for goodness sake.
Yeah, like no, you don't need it for hunting. It makes hunting slightly more convenient. That's not a need. You don't need convenience. So no, and I know AR does not stand for assault rifle. It's I forget what it is. It's like the name of a company. But it's a style of rifle that the patent expired something like in the 1970s or something like that. But it was originally designed to be used in the military. It was not designed for hunting. It was designed for military use. Adam Broughton says people on the right love to throw around the word treason for just about anything, whether it's the US or here in Canada. Yeah, so
it's kind of used to just mean anything they personally disagree with.
But you see, this is where the assault rifle ban kind of failed, because I know there was an assault rifle ban that expired, I forget when, and some people have like posted a graph that correlates the expiry of the assault rifle ban with an increase in school shootings.
Mhm.
There might have been a correlation there, but I don't think like the ban itself wasn't all that effective because there were so many loopholes because the definition of assault rifle is so wiggly.
Mhm.
Anyway, I don't know. Listen to the latest episode of Skeptic's Guide to the Universe, where they go into more detail on that. I'm not going to really touch on that so much. I'm just like sitting on my high horse in Canada where we don't have mass shootings every week.
The thing that gets me is all of these people who say, well, if you just make guns illegal, then only the bad people will have them. It won't actually stop anything. And I'm like, have you seen the results of any actual laws? Like in the UK, in Europe, we outlaw the guns and then there are no more shootings in schools. It's like a miracle or something. But no,
well,
because
okay.
legalizing
I will admit it's a bit
work.
more complicated in the States because of the culture.
Yes.
I fully admit that. I know that it's not like just flat out banning the things. It's not possible.
Right, because it is in the Constitution and because there is this culture of gun ownership, but also there are safer ways to do it, for the love of God.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's Your Buddy says, if it were about convenience, most stores are closer than the woods. So for hunting?
Yes. Yeah. Indeed. You can just go and buy. I mean,
like hunting is an activity that you do not because you need to. You do it for fun. So if you need an AR-15 for hunting, you don't.
I feel like the people who are actually hunting because they need to are probably not dropping the money on an AR-15. They're probably using a shotgun that they got from their grandfather.
Anyway, this actually wasn't about gun control. This was about LGBTQ stuff. A guy literally called for the execution of LGBTQ supporters, and we're talking about guns. Both of us have ADHD. There we go.
We're amazing. We're amazing.
We actually had this discussion before we went live. It was like, you know what? If it goes off track, it goes off track. Every single person I've had that I know has ADHD on the channel, I've gotten like extra content out of our tangents. So this is just that. Anyway, he says, now I'm not going to play the video. I could play the video where you could hear the audio, but Hemant sums it up and he cuts out, like, he repeats himself a lot and he like has a lot of like filler words and stuff. So I'm just going to read what Hemant summarized it because he cut out a bunch of that stuff. He says, I vote to make sure that those parents be held for child abuse. There is no such thing as a trans kid. There are only abusive parents who are pushing evil sexual orientation onto their child's mind.
So I am the parent of a trans child. Nice. It's not a sexual orientation.
No.
So, I mean, are we really terribly surprised that this man doesn't know that? Not really, because anything that isn't heteronormative must be about sex.
Yeah.
And I would much prefer that my child were not trans, because I feel like being trans is inherently dangerous in this country. And when they came out at school, I was very concerned. It was very worrying. Is my kid going to get beaten up? Thankfully, they have a fantastic group of friends. The school is a massive support.
And they've got great parents.
Well, thank you. We try. But like, it's not like we've been working since they were born to make them trans because somehow that's better for us. It's who they are, and they're an amazing kid, and we love them and are incredibly proud of them. But we also recognize that things are going to be harder for them.
Like, why would any parent want things to be harder for their kid?
Absolutely.
It's like, if any of my kids come out as trans, they will absolutely have my full support, and they know that.
Yeah.
But I know it will be easier for them if they are just cis.
If they're not, yeah. Yep.
And
it's a weird kind of mindset that somehow parents want their children to be trans. Like, I mean, if all things were equal and trans people were treated with the respect that cis people are treated with, like, great, fantastic. If you're trans and you're my child, wonderful. I am happy for you. That's not the reality we live in. And it's this also kind of corollary to that is that a lot of, I feel, conservatives are of the mindset that trans people and LGBTQ people are somehow treated better than cis heteronormative people.
No, they're not.
Like, they're absolutely not. But it's this whole, oh, you're just saying it for the attention, or oh, you're just saying it so you fit the minority quota. No, actually, because that leads to abuse.
I am so proud of my daughter because she gets legitimately upset when she hears that people treat people differently because of their sexual orientation or gender identity. It's like she doesn't understand why that is something that would affect how you treat someone. Just treat them as a human being. And I'm so proud of her for having that attitude.
She's awesome.
He says we should start putting some of those parents in jail. Any teacher that is teaching that LGBT, transgenderism, furries, the groomers, any sexual orientation. So the furries thing, I have to assume that comes from that post that was a while ago where I forget who it was, but they got tricked into thinking that like schools were putting litter boxes in their bathrooms.
No, I think he said afterwards that he'd made it up.
Oh, did he?
I don't think he was tricked. I think and again, people fact check me on this because I'm half remembering something I saw on Twitter several months ago. I think he came out and said that he made it up. Like, and show me the teacher that is indoctrinating their children to be gay or to be transgender. They're saying it exists.
Here's the thing, to tie this back into the gun conversation, these groomers are the people that the right wants to arm with AR-15s to fight off the...
Right. You either trust them to teach your children and to like form this educational militia to stop school shootings, or they're like a product of the evil liberal left and they're indoctrinating your children to all be gay. You can't, I mean, you can have it both ways, I guess, but that's a very, very bizarre thing.
Give all the LGBTQ people guns and then watch as the gun control reform starts to flow in.
We can't have all these queers with guns. It's just going to be far too dangerous. Won't somebody think of the cis white men?
Yeah, I try not to. Like, honestly, this like it's actually sometimes an effort to like read something and then be like, okay, how would I think about this if I wasn't who I am? Because I'm not the most important person on the planet. There are other people that exist. John Brown says, as a furry, I can confirm that I poop in a tiny box.
I knew it.
You degenerate. He goes on to say so we haven't even gotten to the worst shit that he's said yet. The LGBT transgender, does he not know that the T is for trans?
No.
Like, come on. The LGBT transgender grooming our children's minds is a national security threat because it is ultimately designed to destabilize the republic that we call the United States of America.
Yes, the existence of trans kids is inherently destabilizing.
If a kid's saying, hey, I've got a penis, but I'm a girl, destabilizes your country?
Oh, no!
Maybe your country wasn't
is a little unstable.
Yeah, maybe your country had some instability built into it. If something so trivial could destabilize it. Fuck. Says that's why when I'm elected, apparently he dropped out of the race, I don't want to just vote. I want to start holding people accountable for treason to the Constitution. We need to hold people for treason, start having some public hearings, and start executing people who are found guilty for their treasonous acts. To be clear, the treasonous acts he's saying is being or supporting LGBTQ people, just like they did back in 1776. So remember,
I'm right. Okay.
When LGBTQ people say that like they're fighting against genocide, that's not hyperbole. People like this are literally calling for their execution. And this isn't like Steve Anderson in some rando church down south that nobody really listens to except to laugh at him. This is a guy who ran for office and got, 11,000 votes?
Apparently. And it's not even the LGBTQ people. I mean, it is them, but also any allies, like parents, teachers, anyone who is accepting and affirming of who you are.
Me, for teaching my daughter that LGBTQ people are okay.
You're done. You can be executed now.
Well, I'm Canadian, so no.
Well, they'd probably find some way to extradite you.
Sure.
Or just invade Canada.
Well, that's
why not?
Bill C-11 is a whole nother issue. That's Canadian content rules, where like I might have to like submit paperwork to the government to prove that I do sufficiently Canadian content or something. I don't know. It's weird, and if it passes, it could have pretty nasty implications for other countries.
What is sufficiently Canadian content? Do you have to like live stream a moose drinking
I don't know.
Maple syrup or something?
Okay, so these regulations were originally supposed to like protect smaller creators in the era of broadcast TV, but the era of broadcast TV doesn't translate well to YouTube.
No.
So it's like a bunch of old people who don't understand the internet trying to make legislation about the internet.
What we really need, I feel, for internet legislation in all countries is a group of high school students kind of sitting down and explaining how the internet works. And not necessarily legislating themselves, but like how it works and what things they've run into that are challenging. Because I don't think I understand the internet as well as my 15-year-old does.
Well, yeah,
I think I do okay.
I'm a pretty tech savvy guy, but there are things on the internet that my kids know about that I do not. Like there's this YouTube doctor called Dr. Mike or whatever that I just found him like today, and I was like watching a video of his when my daughter got home from school. I was like, oh, it's that Dr. Mike guy. I was like, you already know about this guy? Like he's
when did this happen?
Like, it's a good channel, so like I would like that's a channel that I'm happy to find out that she's watching. Adam Broughton says better start covering more Canadian stories VR. Yeah, really. Better learn some Canadian Supreme Court justice names. Well, okay.
Just sing the Canadian national anthem at the beginning of each stream. You'll be fine.
Oh, Canada, terre de nos aïeux. Yeah, so this is the Canadian Supreme Court, where they literally they're dressed like mall Santas. Well, okay, so when I discussed this with my father, his reaction was, yeah, it's not so much Santa as Father Christmas. Which you understand the distinction there, right? Yeah,
I do, yes.
But yeah, these, I know you guys aren't really seeing it well because my thing's cropped for news articles, not for.
You can see well.
Yeah, but that's the Canadian Supreme Court. We dress them like Santa. Anyway,
I have a sneaking suspicion ours are the same.
Maybe.
It looks like something that. Oh no, ours are in black and gold.
It's probably the exact same like apparel,
Fancy.
just different colors.
Probably we can't have it the same as Canada. That would just be